Yo, internet friends, what up? My name is Sixy. I've heard a lot of comments about some of the bosses in Karazhan being overtuned, and while I definitely think the Shade of Medivh is brutal, I think Morose and Huntsman are quite doable. We'll focus on Morose for this video. We actually lost a party member after 2 pulls, and at this point, we had like 2 gear upgrades in our group, so the circumstances were super tough, and yet we were still able to kill Morose. The Huntsman video will also be available on my channel, so if you find this helpful, please consider dropping this channel and subscribe. I'm trying to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers, so every little bit helps. I thank you so much. Let's jump in. First, you want to notice these traps on the side of the room. These traps can be used to CC dinner party guests for 1 minute. Now, they have a 90-second cooldown, so there is a 30-second gap between when the CC ends and the CC can be used again. One might think to themselves, we have to kill them in 60 seconds then! Wrong. You can still use things like Frost Trap, Blind, Shackle, basically anything that can be used on undead mobs, you can use to cover the 30-second gap, and then you can reuse your trap. So let's jump into a quick overview. One of the abilities the Morose casts is called Coat Check. It comes with the tagline, may I take your jacket, and also has this purple swirly animation. This debuff can be dispelled, but if your healer is preoccupied, tank, this is when you want to be ready to use your defensives. Every so often, Morose will cast Vanish, exactly like a Rogue's Vanish, and then a second or 2 later will pop up and stun a random good guy in your party and apply a bleed to them. This bleed stacks and can be the ultimate limiting factor of this fight. I'm not sure exactly where I heard this quote, but stacking bleed leads to massive healing leads to running out of mana, and running out of mana leads to dead people. So you need to kill Morose first. This bleed can be removed by Carrion File, Bop, Ice Block, yada yada yada, anything that would normally clear bleeds. Lastly, if the boss reaches 60%, any mobs still CC'd will be purged of their CCs and become active. While Morose himself is a deadly boss, his dinner guests are the real trick of this fight, and they definitely ramp up the scariness. Now there are 6 dinner guests, and they all have way too many names / syllables, so let's just call them by their last word. Millstipe casts Mana Drain and Arcane Blast, both need to be kicked. Von'Indi, a healer, casts Smite and Healing Stream, both need to be kicked. Okay, small problem. I went to look specifically for Von'Indi's cast. Now, every video I pulled, she casts Smite over and over again. I never actually saw her cast Healing Stream. I don't know if there's some kind of trigger for her to actually use Healing Stream. I don't even know if it can be kicked. I hope so. I assume so. It's a heal. You may need to conserve a stun for this because I don't know. Until I see Von'Indi actually cast this, I won't have accurate... I can't be 100% sure that my information is accurate, but please let me know in the comments if you find out. Dreuger, a warrior, casts Iron Whirlwind, a bitch of an ability that does a ton of damage to anyone nearby. Buckberry empowers Morose. This can be kicked and doesn't seem to be cast all that often. Daris puts an easy-to-dodge Whirling Blade on the floor. The initial hit, if stood in, is basically a one-shot, but after that, it's a decent-sized AoE, so get a good 8 to 10 yards away from where it is initially dropped. Ference does a super massive ground AoE. It seems to prefer to target ranged casters and healers first, and basically destroys this super nice dinner party we were invited to. What a rude bitch. Just like every time I had to play sports in elementary school, not everyone is invited to the dinner party.
Joe, seriously. Hamster. He can only see out of the mouth, Joe. He can't even see out the eyes.
Of the 6 dinner guests, only 4 will be available during the week. Each dinner party member that is still alive buffs the remaining party guests with damage and haste. Because of this, certain dinner guests are much more deadly when all the other dinner guests are still alive versus them being the last one to be pulled. At the start of the fight, you will probably want to CC 2 and kill 2. After that, you will pull in 1 and then pull in the last one at 60%. There is basically a hierarchy of what to CC and what to kill, but the most important is never pull Millstipe and Von'Indi together. The kick burden is far too high, and every spell needs to be interrupted. After that, you can basically auto-pull at the beginning Daris, Berrybuck, and Millstipe in any combination of these 3. After that, Dreuger and Von'Indi are the middle guys that you will want to pull in as your 3rd mob. Dreuger does a whirlwind that fucking hurts, but if you drag Morose around the room, Dreuger, while whirlwinding, is a little bit slower. You can basically stay at the front of Morose and cleave off of him to kill Dreuger. His cast can be stopped with stuns and traps, I think, if you make a single 1 pixel mistake. However, you will take a big hit. I highly recommend pre-using your defensives while you're killing him, so that way if you accidentally mess up, you don't get yourself killed. With Von'Indi, you just need to kick her spells, but if she still has a bunch of haste from going first, even a slight delay in kicking Healing Stream will allow her to get a 25% heal off on Morose, so you want to pull her towards the end to make sure that doesn't happen. The last one you want to pull is that little bitch ruining the whole party, Ference. If pulled last, his AoE is super easy to dodge, but it does still one-shot. After the dinner guests are killed, it is a straight race to 0 HP, making sure your party doesn't hit 0 HP before Morose does. With these videos, I decided to stick to my old method of doing single boss guides. That way, when you search it, you can specifically just look for the information you're looking for, as opposed to doing much longer, in-depth, full-run guides. So from here, we'll have a Huntsman video, and then we'll probably do the trash of Lord Karazhan. If you want something different from me, please leave a comment down in the sections letting me know what it is that you would like to see from me. Happy to help in any way I can. You can always join our Discord and ask me directly. It's discord.gg/the-6. Link is on the screen and in the description. Good luck out there in Season 4, and we'll see you on the streets. Peace.